am a nurse practitioner at Bedford Commons, and so I see patients ranging from young girls all the way through menopause and postmenopause into their 80s or 90s. I am also the practice administrator at Bedford Commons, which means that I help to orchestrate some of the business aspects of what we do here. The most meaningful part of what I do is really making a visit to the gynecologist being a very comfortable experience for women. I think most women have a little bit of anxiety when they have to come to the gynecologist. I think that we're all a little bit nervous to open up about such private, personal things. And creating a comfortable environment for somebody to sit and talk about their life and what they're going through, problems and concerns, and really listening and understanding and trying to help someone deal with the concerns or problems that they're having at the time is what I love most about the job. I think there's also a really unique part about being a medical professional in that we really get to intimately see into people's lives and get to know them and create a relationship. And once you've established those relationships, it's just it's a wonderful thing between a provider and a patient. Coming to the gynecologist can be a positive experience for some women and should be a positive experience, and that's one of the reasons why I went into gynecology, is to help make it a more comfortable experience. Having comfort in who you're meeting and where you're going, I think, is the first big part about going to the gynecologist. Feeling confident in your practitioner and feeling comfortable in the setting is so important, because being able to share any concerns, questions, no matter how silly you may think they are, they're incredibly important in developing your healthcare goals and meeting your healthcare goals. So coming prepared with questions, they can be big questions or little questions, is so important to make the visit worthwhile for patients. So I really enjoy meeting some of our younger patients in our practice. It's been really rewarding to help young women experience their first visit to the gynecologist in a really positive way. I think that as a teenager, the only thing that you're surrounded by is horror stories about going to the gynecologist, and it doesn't exactly make anyone feel excited about going. I think that there is a lot of fear of coming to the gynecologist, particularly when it's your first visit. And what I tell my patients is our first visit is a time just to connect. I never do an exam on the first day that I'm meeting someone who's never been to a gynecologist before, because it's about creating that connection and comfort with who you're seeing and starting that relationship. And I don't think that the best way to start a relationship is making somebody feel scared or afraid. Having anxiety about having to undress when you're first meeting someone, I think, would make anybody nervous. I certainly wouldn't want to do that either. And so coming to the gynecologist should not be a scary thing for someone for the first time. You should feel like it's an opportunity to ask the questions that you may feel nervous about asking your mom or your friend or your sister, and feeling comfortable that it's a safe, private environment to have those questions answered. Nothing that we talk about at our visits is shared with anyone, no matter how young or old you are. It's completely private and personal, and I think that people need to feel the confidence that they can ask whatever questions that they want to ask and start that relationship out well. I always review with my patients at their first visit what to expect when they come in, and what to expect about exams, when exams occur, why we do them, and why they're important in setting healthcare goals. I think that the other fear about coming to the gynecologist is that every visit requires an exam, which isn't true at all. I let my younger patients determine when they're ready to have an exam, which I think is important. We follow guidelines and we follow recommendations, but ultimately what's most important is making somebody feel comfortable in the setting in our practice and feeling comfortable with me as their provider. And if it's too early for them to have an exam, or a young woman feels uncomfortable with it, we're going to gain much more health care for her if we don't do an exam and we just sit and talk about what her concerns are and hopefully make her more comfortable.